From the arcade to the Master System. Enduro Racer. But is this one any good? Let's have a little look. In 1987, Enduro Racer came to the Master System, based on the 1986 arcade machine, but not an exact port. Instead of a view behind the dirt bike, it's now an isometric view. This may be a disappointment to some consumers, as they may have expected the same as the arcade. You control a dirt bike through 10 courses, although there is only 5 and the other 5 are repeated but have less time to complete them in. You travel across various different scenes with different obstacles in your way. You have a time limit which starts to get very tight as you progress. Avoiding the rocks and other bikes is relatively easy to begin with, but it soon gets trickier. Some bikes will cross your path, causing you to crash. This is the worst thing to happen, as it can take a huge chunk of your time to recover. Most of the time you can plan ahead to avoid them, and using the shadow of your bike to judge what you're going to run into or land on if you're in mid-air. Hitting things like rocks and cacti won't make you crash, fortunately, but they will slow you down. However, colliding with a bike or landing in deep water will result in a crash. There's not always enough time to react to avoid obstacles, and you will take a hit now and then, especially in the later levels. Keeping up your speed is essential in winning the race. To help you maintain speed through the course, you can hit the ramps in a certain way. Hitting them normally will slow you down, but if you press down just as you hit them, it will propel your bike forward. Mastering this technique isn't that easy, but once you've got the hang of it, you'll see the difference it makes. Clearing the water and the cliff drops in one jump saves precious seconds. Whilst in the air, you can move your bike left or right to avoid any obstacles in your way below, just like in real life. In this stage, you can move to a section of the track and avoid all obstacles without moving throughout the level. Once you have completed a stage, your total number of bikes you pass will add points to your wallet to spend at the upgrade shop. You can upgrade your acceleration, handling, tyres, engine, suspension and item, which will minimise your overall damage. The cost of these go up from stage 5 onwards. All parts have their own advantages, such as quicker response time and acceleration. Once purchased, they will only last for the stage that you go to. Be careful with selecting engine, as your top speed will be insane and can make your bike go faster than you can handle, resulting in a crash. In the later stages, one crash can cost a stage, as you'll lose too much time to make it to the end. This game is very basic yet quite fun. Despite the simple design, it's an easy pick up and play game. It won't have you playing for hours on end, but it's still something good to pass the time. It's a shame that there's only 5 stages, but they all look okay and give you quite a good challenge. My only problem with this game is the isometric view, and only one spot in particular, which is the top right corner. A lot of the time this is where you try to manoeuvre your bike to, but dangers come quickly from that corner and make it near impossible to avoid, like the cliffside. The music is good and reminds me a bit like Sonic the Hedgehog on the Master System. Not that you'll notice it much when you're concentrating on not crashing. There's not much going on the cover of this game to make you rush out and grab it, as is the case with most early Master System games, but I love its minimal effort look. It's basic and straight to the point. This may not be a top 10 game, but it's still fun to play. Frustration may run high toward the end of the game, as keeping a fast pace is crucial to winning, but with so many obstacles to avoid, this may make you rage quit. But as it stands, it's just an arcade style game that shouldn't be taken too seriously, and the arcade games were never meant to be easy.